And welcome to Technology Tap. I'm Professorjrod. In this episode, we'll talk more questions, 1101 questions part 4. And we'll talk about Technology Tap Premium. Let's get to it. And welcome, guys. Thank you for coming back to Technology Tap. I'm Professorjrod. I'm very, very, very happy to announce that we will be doing Technology Tap Premium. Now, this is a premium subscribers only source. Technology Tap Premium will be an interactive service, a 1-hour monthly live Zoom session. We will go over your CompTIA questions and interview scenarios. We can also talk about any computer topic you want. This will be a monthly event, right? 1 hour every month. We all get together, and here's your chance to network with other people, right, in the Zoom session. So how would it work? I will notify those ones who subscribe to the premium service via private email from my professorjrod@gmail.com account with the Zoom link. Probably do it like on a Friday afternoon, maybe. That way we get all the people in Europe who may want to join. And, we'll go over questions. You tell me how, if you want to take the test, if you've taken the test and haven't succeeded, if you're having difficulty on the test, we can discuss strategies, and interview techniques, interview questions, issues that you're having at work, right? How to, maybe you having an issue with someone personally or trying to fix something. We could go all over that. You can go all over that. Resumes, right? Maybe you have a resume, you're having trouble doing an interview, right? We can go all over that. So we'll do that once a month in the beginning. Maybe we'll end up doing it twice a month for the same price. But I want to start out with once a month and see how many people we get. The link is going to be in the show notes on the Buzzsprout. That's my RSS feed, and it's only $10 a month. If you can't make it to the Zoom session, I'll record it, and we'll be able to put it out as a podcast only to the subscribers. It won't go on the regular website. It'll go on the regular website, but you'll see a subscriber only link, and you would only be able to get it through Buzzsprout. But as we get into it, I'll let you guys know and put the link and all that. Hopefully this thing takes off and we can get to know each other. I kind of try to do something like this over the summer. Didn't really get a lot of people, maybe because it was the summer. But the people that I did get, they were really excited to finally, especially people who have heard me. I remember this one particular lady, I think she was from Pennsylvania. She was like really excited, like, oh, I hear you all the time when I'm doing chores or when I'm on the train or when I'm, walking, and to see you, hear you live. She said it takes on a different dimension. But let's see how it goes. You may not like it. Nobody might not subscribe, and we may never do it. But if you want, I'll put the link in the show notes, and yeah, let's do this. Let's get to know each other a little bit more. Our whole goal is to get everyone to pass the CompTIA, right? At least the trifecta, and go on from there. We want everybody to be making money, even though there are a lot of people getting laid off, as we've seen lately from Apple and Microsoft and Amazon and Spotify. There still is a lot of work for techs. And believe me, if those are technical people that are being laid off, because I kind of read that not all of them are technical, some is like HR, sales, and marketing. Uh, it's still a huge shortage of techs out there, and those guys will be fine. There are people who will snatch. You work for Google, Apple, Microsoft, and you get laid off. Believe me, they'll find another job. Plus, I saw a lady who got laid off video. Forgot which company. She was getting 22 weeks of severance. That's a lot. That's like, what is that? 5 months, almost 6 months of severance. So they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Those are smart people who work there. So they'll be able to get another job. All right. Again, as always, one of my mentors is, if you are in the New York State area, she's looking for people, underprivileged people, people who are underemployed or unemployed, who want to take free Network Plus class, a Network Plus class. It's a Network Plus and Cloud Plus. You'll be able to take that totally free. They give you Cert Master, which, by the way, I looked at it over the weekend, Cert Master, and it's actually a good product. It's expensive, but it's not bad. I mean, as a professor myself at a university, at a college, kind of would wish they used that there, but it's expensive, and you have to get it for each. If you're doing A plus or hardware, you got to get it for there. If you get it for Network Plus or networking, you got to do it for there. And it's not cheap. And I don't know if they give educational discount, or if the educational discount will be, a huge, that it's worth buying. Because now, and then I don't know how that's going to work, because again, over the weekend I found out that CompTIA bought TestOut, which is another company that helps people with their CompTIA certifications. Now, am I a fan of TestOut? I like TestOut. Don't love TestOut. I like TestOut. TestOut is really good if you don't know anything about computers and you want to know about computers. Get TestOut. It will help you gain a really good function of IT. Is it going to help you with the CompTIA exam? In my opinion, no. Last I looked at it. To be fair, last time I looked at it, no, which was probably about 2020. Why do I say that? Well, I think, and this is no criticism on TestOut. I like TestOut. Don't love TestOut, but I like TestOut. I think TestOut gives you a false sense of security. I think the questions are simple, and you end up saying, "Oh, I'm gonna pass," and then take the real exam. And the questions that they do on TestOut are nothing like the real exam. Not even close. TestOut gives you what I like to call straight through questions. They don't really give you scenarios the way CompTIA does. They're a different type of multiple choice. So you launch yourself into this false sense of security, thinking, "Hey, I got this," and then go and take the CompTIA exam and fail because of TestOut. But again, don't know anything about computers, I recommend TestOut. to get a fundamental understanding, yes. To use it for CompTIA, no. So, but Cert Master, highly recommend. If you've ever been on the fence and if you could afford it, buy it. I think it's good. All right. Oh, so again, my mentor, she's offering, if you have to be New York State resident, Network Plus Cloud Plus class, 70 hours, free. Even the exam is free. So if you want more information, email me at professorjrod@gmail.com. Let me know before the classes fill up. She could only do X number of students. So don't wait. If you're interested, again, you got to be underemployed or unemployed, and if you know someone who's underemployed or unemployed, let me know. Don't suggest somebody who doesn't know anything about computers, because that's going to be a little bit hard for them. Network Plus is a little hard if you don't know anything about computers. But if you know somebody who maybe took A+ or worked in IT and now is unemployed, send them my way. Professorjrod@gmail.com. And I'll forward it to my mentor, and she'll take a look at it, see if they qualify. So, all right. Now that those are housekeeping, we finished our housekeeping. Let's get down to the 6 questions. And as always, you can follow these questions at professorjrod.com. I'll put the link in the show notes. That way, if you want to follow along. But if you're walking your dog, hey, you can follow along also. You can use your phone, right? And listen to it. One of my listeners told me the other day that she walks her dog while listening to the podcast. So thank you. All right, first question, or question number 7 on the website. A user's smartphone has been slow recently. A technician sees the phone was purchased 2 months ago and is top of the line. About a month ago, a new OS update was installed. To address the issue, the technician runs a hardware diagnostics on the device and it reports no problems. Which of the following is most likely the cause of the performance issue on the device? A, too many applications are running updates. B, the device is currently running in airplane mode. C, the internal memory is failing on the device. Or D, the OS update is too resource intensive for the device. This is the tough one. This is not easy. Let's break it down. Right? Is it though? Is it too many applications are running updates? Well, it doesn't really say that. I kind of like to, I know maybe I've contradicted myself, but you don't really want to add anything to the questions. The device is currently in airplane mode. Obviously, that's not going to cause it to go slow. The internal memory is failing on the device, or the OS update is too resource intensive for the device. The one that's, again, the question is most likely, right? So I would have to go with D, even though my only issue with it is it's a top of the line phone. But a month later, a new OS was installed. So I can see that. Out of all these 4, this is most likely. Doesn't mean that's the one, but it's most likely that one, right? And that's the question that they're giving you, right? They want to know most likely. So I would go with D. All right, next, number 8. A technician has been informed that multiple users are receiving duplicate IP address warnings on their workstations and they're unable to browse the internet. Which of the following server types should the technician log in? in order to resolve the problem? A, DNS server, B, DHCP server, C, proxy server, D, radius server. Well, this is not a crazy one, but of course, if it has anything to do with IP address, right, that and it's doing duplicate IP address warnings, that means that the workstations are not getting true IP addresses. And which of the servers gives out IP address? DHCP server. So that will be the answer. The answer will be B, DHCP server. All right, number 9. And a user reports that after setting up a new wireless access point in her kitchen, she's experiencing intermittent connectivity issues. Which of the following should a technician check first? A, correct Wi-Fi password, B, SSID, C, antenna power level, and D, frequency. What do you think? Which one do you think it is? A, correct Wi-Fi password, B, SSID, C, antenna power level, or D, frequency? Well, let's look. So she's having intermittent connectivity issues in her kitchen. In her kitchen. Now, there are things in the kitchen that could affect your wireless, your refrigerator, your microwave, right? Those are things that could affect your wireless. And if it's a microwave, what is it affecting? The frequency. So the answer is D, frequency. All right, next. A technician is buying a PC that would host 3 VMs running at the same time with the current configurations. The technician believes there might be a need to run several additional VMs in the near future. Which of the following upgrades to allow for additional VMs? A, CPU, B, SSD, C, NIC or NIC, and D, RAM, which is your memory. So, for VMs, the most important thing in VMs is what? For those of you who don't remember, come on, what do you think the most important thing in VM is? What are the choices again? CPU, SSD, NIC, or RAM? Well, the answer is RAM. Is RAM. So the answer is D. All right, next question. A technician would like to install an internal storage cable for a computer. Which of the following cables connectors will most likely be used to transfer data? Choose 2. USB-C, IDE, SATA, USB-A, Molex, and Lightning. What is the clue here? There's actually a clue in the question. Let me read it again. A technician would like to install an internal storage device for a computer. Which of the following cable connectors will most likely be used to transfer data? Well, actually, 2 clues. 1, internal storage drive. That's the first clue. And second is transfer data. Right? So that, what does that get rid of? USB, Lightning, Molex, right? Really the 2 is IDE and SATA, B and C. That's the answer. Right? Because again, we have to look at the question. I cannot emphasize enough how reading the questions is so vital to passing of any CompTIA exam. All right, last one. Joe, a user, recently purchased a new multi-function printer and attempted to install it himself. he informed the technician that the printer's on his list of printers, but he's unable to print. The technician sees that the printer is listed as a generic printer on the devices and printers. Which of the following should the technician do next? A. Reboot the computer into safe mode and try to print a test page. B. Download the correct drivers from the manufacturer's website and install them. C. Unplug the USB cable from the printer and try another USB slot. Or D. Select the printer as a default within the device properties. So he has a multi-printer function printer, and he's on a list of printers, but he's unable to print. So he's not printing. So which one of these do you think that you have to do next in order to get him to print? Right? Well, it's telling you it's listed as a generic printer, which technically you can have it as generic, but if it doesn't print, what do you got to do? Download the correct drivers from the manufacturer's website and install them. That will fix the problem. That's what you have to do next, right? Maybe reboot the computer into safe mode and try to print a test page. Sure, but that's not what you're going to do next, right? You want to download the correct drivers from the manufacturer's website and install them. See, next or most, you could look at it and say, especially next, right? Because what it's doing is you may see another answer that works, but what is it that they want you to do next? That's how you have to see it, right? In order to get it to work, right? So what's the end game, right? They want to see the printers listed as generic printer on the devices, which is the following the printer to do next in order to get it to print. So those are the things that you have to do. All right. There's the 6 questions. I love going over questions with my fans and people who are trying to take the CompTIA exam. I hope these questions are really helping you. They seem to be the most popular podcast episodes that I have. When I'm looking at the stats, these seem to be the most popular ones. So I'm going to keep doing them. Next time I might do more informational on the A+ 1101 because I found some things that are really, really different from the other exams. So I might do an episode on that. And then maybe go into Network Plus next and go over some questions on that. So, with that being said, thank you for listening. And please subscribe to Technology Tap Premium. Kind of want to start that next month. 1 hour live Zoom session. I'll give you the link and you join in only for premium subscribers. And we can go all over CompTIA. Any questions you have about CompTIA, strategies, how to take the exam, how to prepare for the exam, resume tips, job interview, issues that you might be happening or things, just generally, you could use it as a networking. You get to know people from different parts of the country. If you maybe looking for a job in a different area, right? We can introduce you to people who know. So, and maybe we can get people to come on and talk to you about resume writing and stuff like that. We'll see. But yeah, let's do it. All right, thanks, and we'll see you next time. This has been a presentation of Little Chacha Productions, art by Sarah, music by Jokum. If you want to reach me, you can email me at professorjrod@gmail.com.